Gary and David will be discussing the FDA blanket no change certification regulations, 5 steps to creating a successful blanket no change certification, the support Reed Tech offers for the blanket no change certification, and finally, Gary and David will answer your questions that you submitted via the chat box. With that, I will hand the presentation over to Gary Sainer.
Well, thank you, Erin, and welcome everyone to this webinar. We have a timely topic and a lot of material to go through, so we'll get started first of all, laying some groundwork. Some of the basic foundation that comes about this time of the year during the annual registration period. But we'll visit some of those, and let's dive into what some of the FDA regulations are. This might be a recap for you if you had been working with drug listings in the past. If this is your first time, there's a lot of good material here, so just bear with me if you already know a good portion of this. Hopefully it'll be a good reminder. So first of all, what is a drug listing certification? So every year, the FDA does require that all active drug listings on file either be updated during the course of the year, or a certification is sent in to say that this particular drug listing is current and that it is accurate. So that is a particular statement coming from the registrant to the FDA saying that all is good, everything that you have on file is up to date. On the other hand, if there are changes to be made, then you need to make an update during the course of the year, and we'll talk into the time frame about when that should be done. This particular certification is done by way of an electronic SPL file, a structured product labeling file, and that is able to be submitted to the FDA through electronic submission gateway. We'll talk about some methods later on. And you are able to bundle many of these NDC product codes together in a single file. So it's not that you're certifying each one individually. You are able to put it together, such the name, the blanket no change certificate. Who must register? Who must certify? So the responsibility for this particular task goes back to the establishment registrant, and that can take many different forms. Typically, it's a manufacturer, but it could be those repackers, relabelers, salvagers, and there always is a little bit of a mix going on here with contract manufacturer organizations. They would be responsible, but sometimes you get the private label distributors in the mix. And David, I'd like you to jump in real quickly here. In the past, have you seen this handled pretty well? There has to be some coordination, obviously, to make sure that a particular drug product is, in fact, either listed for that year and both sides know about it, or they hand off and say, you do the certification, that sort of thing. How do you think that's going in the last few years?
Yeah, good question, Gary. It's improved over time since FDA implemented this. Just because industry is getting a little bit more accustomed with it, but this is a critical piece, ensuring that whether it be the contract manufacturer or the distributor or private label distributor, be actually certifying it and certifying it once. Yeah, so we'll detail a little bit more as this presentation goes along how to access that data, but then where it might be tricky to access that data and confirm it. So it's definitely something that when an organization is working with a contract manufacturer as the distributor, you should make sure it's explicitly clear as to who's going to be submitting this data.